I did wonder about the celebrities courtside. If you're not really a Knicks fan, but you got great seats, you got to act like you're a Knicks fan. Like, I don't know if Jason Bateman, I knew he was born in New York, Rye, New York, which is where the Knicks practice facility is, but this is why they're actors, I guess, then. You know, you're sitting courtside, you got to act like you're a New York Knicks fan. I'm guessing he's a Laker fan. Yes, Paul?
Yeah, doing a little research on Jason Bateman. He's lived in Los Angeles since he was a child, and he's been seen at all the different Laker, Dodger games. He was whipping it up, though, for the Knicks.
Okay, all right. Just want to make sure that those getting those great seats are actually Knicks fans. So have a poll question. You got one ready? You got one locked and loaded, Dylan?
I do have one locked and loaded off of that very topic. Paulie sent one over. Last night at MSG, you can sit next to any celeb pair. So here's some of the options. Jason Bateman and Jason Sudeikis. Strong. Patrick Ewing, John Starks. Timothy Chalamet and Kylie. Jenner. Tracy Morgan and Ben Stiller. And Spike Lee and John McEnroe.
Ooh. I'm going to go Bateman and Sudeikis. I think they would be not too serious. They'd have some fun with it. You're going to get some camera time. Spike would be too intense. Timothy Chalamet would be intense, and then I've got Kylie sitting there, and then I've got to make small talk with her while he gets excited about his Knicks. Tracy's always fun. I'd say the Jasons. I'd say Bateman and Sudeikis would be my choice there. Yes, Dylan.
I had you pegged for Timothy Chalamet and Kylie Jenner.
Timothy Chalamet's pretty intense, though. Like I don't want to. I'm not a Knicks fan, so I got to be careful that I'm with somebody who's not too excited or breaking down the game. John Starks, as Patrick Ewing said yesterday, gets a little too excited there. So I'd have to pick the fan base that's kind of my level, and that would be Sudeikis and Bateman. That would be like, this is a pretty cool experience, man. The atmosphere is pretty good. It wouldn't be like, oh, my God, Brunson's not hitting his shots. They got to get the ball to Cat more. Josh Hart, man, he's a glue guy. Like, I don't want that if I'm going to a game where I'm not a true fan. Yes, Todd.
And you have a sense of humor, so you'd appreciate they may make little sarcastic remarks that trying to, one-up each other. You can fit right in with them as everyone's people watching and just making little comments.
But you got to be careful to try to not out-funny the funny people because they're competitive. And sometimes, like Sandler's really generous when you're trying to be funny, or Will Ferrell. Hopefully Jason Bateman and Jason Sudeikis would be forgiving if I was trying to be funny. Yes, Marvin.
See, this is the issue that I have with the Knicks getting further and further into the playoffs. You're getting guys that can afford the seats, not true Knicks fans. So, no offense, I wouldn't want you front row because you're not a Knicks fan. No, Sudeikis and Bateman, I don't know if you guys are real Knicks fans. I know Tracy Morgan is. I know Ben Stiller is. I know Spike Lee is. Those guys should be there. So, no.
I don't want to get booed on the Jumbotron when they realize that I'm not a Knicks fan. That usually you cheer everybody and you get the Zoolander look from Ben Stiller, and all of a sudden they put, talking hairdo Dan Patrick, and people would be like, huh? Yes, Paul?
So it becomes poser cam instead of Knicks fan cam.
Yeah.
And then you get booed.
I don't want that. And, sometimes we don't know exactly who is courtside. Here is an awkward moment describing some of the celebrities who were courtside last night.
Brunson does it himself, takes it the length of the floor and lays it in. John McEnroe right there. Cedric the Entertainer is in the building. They're all loving it.
Well, the problem was it was Bernard King, not Cedric the Entertainer. So that's courtesy of CBS. I'll give the announcer an A+ for excitement, but I'm going to give him an F for courtside awareness. Yes, Marvin.
He said it with so much confidence, too. He just saw a black guy in a fedora. He was like, Cedric the Entertainer. Great.
Cedric the Entertainer, I think, is 5'5". Bernard King is 6'5".
He just saw a guy sitting down in a fedora with a colorful suit and a fedora. And Cedric the Entertainer is currently on Broadway, so maybe he was thinking, oh, you know what? Got a night off? He's at the Knicks game, not knowing that's one of the greatest Knicks ever.
I have some semi-breaking news about our celebrities.
Okay.
Jason Sudeikis
Yeah.
is a Nets fan.
Ooh, that's the Brooklyn in him. Does he live in Brooklyn?
He does.
I think he might live in Brooklyn Heights.
I've got a picture of him right here. This is from 2023 Nets-Knicks game, and he's rocking a Nets hoodie.
Oh.
Shucks.
Okay. Maybe he's not a regular Nets fan. Maybe he went to the Nets game to get good seats to see the Knicks. Maybe he did that, and then he did I'm going to act like I'm a Nets fan to watch the Knicks. I get it. Undercover. Yes, Marvin.
See, just like I said before, this is going to be the issue. If the Knicks get to the finals, you're going to see a bunch of guys that aren't fans, but they can just afford the seats, like Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah, Paul.
This brings out a bigger topic. I'm looking here. Jason Sudeikis is more of a regular at Knicks games, but has, like you said, gone to some Nets games because probably closer to home. What is your official policy on supporting, not rooting, but supporting two teams in one town, such as Mets, Yankees, Cubs, White Sox?
No.
Hard no?
No, you can't do it. You can't be a Clipper-Laker fan.
Okay.
Now, you can say you're just a basketball fan, but if you're going to wear gear of the Nets and you get good seats at the Knicks, I've got a little bit of an issue with that. Paul, Todd, get Jason Sudeikis on the phone.
Let's do it. We'll get Ted Lasso.
Yeah, Ted Lasso. Yeah, Paul.
Can you be a Lakers fan but not dislike the Clippers? Like wish well for them but don't care what they do?
I think if you're a Laker fan, you don't care about the Clippers. Like I don't think they're part of your everyday life consciousness. Yeah, Paul.
I'll go bigger then. Let's say you're a hardcore New York Yankees fan your whole life, but the Mets don't bother you. You just like, hey, I have some friends who are Mets fans. I'm fine if they win as long as they don't beat the Yankees. Or do you have to actively root against the Mets?
I just don't think you bring them up in conversation. Like you don't care. Yes, Dylan.
As a Mets fan, I despise the Yankees. It doesn't go as much the other way, but that's because the Mets have been the lovable losers in New York. But no, if someone says I root for the Yankees and the Mets, I'm like, no, you don't.
Yes, Todd.
And if one of the two local teams is kind of irrelevant, I can wink at Sudeikis because there's no Knicks-Nets rivalry. They happen to be, not far from each other in different boroughs, but there's nothing there that would be like, yeah, you're a Nets fan, you can't root for the Knicks.
Yeah, but, Knicks fans aren't going to allow you to be, a poser. All of a sudden you want to be part of a winner. No, you're a Nets fan, wear it. And that's what Jason Sudeikis is doing. Yes, Marvin.
And the Nets don't have a fan base in Brooklyn.
True.
Right? So, and all the people that live in Brooklyn aren't from Brooklyn. So,
true.
Everywhere else, that's the thing about the Knicks. Every other team is split. Nobody splits on the New York Knicks. I didn't mean that for that to rhyme. So everybody in the city is rooting for them. The Nets don't have a fan base?
No, they don't. They might have one in New Jersey at the Brendan Byrne Arena.
The Izod Center.
Yes. I remember going there. I actually saw when Calipari was coaching the Nets. I remember seeing Drazen Petrovic, and I was enamored with this guy because all he wanted to do was shoot. And he had so much energy. And then I brought his name up to Reggie Miller, and he's like, oh, Drazen, bad guy, man. He was tough to deal with. And he was a scorer. He was a baller. But I remember Jay Kidd was out there, go out there and see the Nets play. No ambiance whatsoever.